Survive the night.
Survive the night.
Oh God! What was that? Oh God! Survive the night.
Oh yeah, whose Gatorade is this?
Mine.
Orange Gatorade.
No
eh?
touchy.
Are you guys gonna go see the new Matrix movie?
Fuck, I am
Yeah.
stoked for the new Matrix
very
movie.
excited.
It looks really
And
good.
yeah, when they first announced a sequel for it, I was like, oh fuck, come on, don't. And when I saw the trailers, I was like, okay, you know what? I think you guys got
I
me.
didn't care for the idea of a new one, but seeing the trailer.
The one thing I'm upset about is the fact that they didn't bring Lawrence Fishburne back. I don't know if it was because they didn't want to or because he didn't want to, but that kind of sucks. The guy they got playing him though is great.
Did you know Lawrence Fishburne's daughter did porn?
I think I did know that.
Let's pull that up right now.
No, please no.
Is it Delilah or no? It's Montana. Montana Fishburne.
That's a porn name.
Montana. Yeah.
No Fishburne.
Fishburne.
Look at the fucking weird stock photo they have of her on Google. It's so dirty. It's gross. She's not naked or anything. It's just her face.
That's
She's
weird.
got like her stung. She's sticking out her stung.
No.
Well, if you're gonna go to images, just make sure you're
NSFW is off.
on.
Oh, off.
No, we want to see.
Oh,
There you go. So fuck. Anyway.
is that The Rock?
Welcome to episode 8 of Survive the Night podcast. My name is Amir. I'm here with Andy
Hi.
and Ryan.
Yeah.
And on this episode, we're going to be discussing a fairly recent movie called The Ritual, which is based on a book. I guess, Andy, you'll have the synopsis, but my quick synopsis on it is just a bunch of dudes who go hiking and shit goes weird.
One of their friends dies at the beginning of the movie in a store robbery, and he doesn't give up the items that they were asking for. He dies. For the memory of him, they all go hiking in the forests of
Sweden?
Sweden.
I know one of the main things we do on our podcast is we put ourselves in situations, and I think that scene in the grocery, the convenience store, the liquor store, wherever they are, is the perfect scene for us to discuss
Totally.
what we would do in that situation. So again, to set it up, they're in a liquor store.
Was it a liquor store or just a convenience
A
store?
convenience store that has liquor in
Yeah.
it. And so we have Rob in the scene and Luke, two of the characters, and they're chilling, and then suddenly they see a woman behind the counter on the ground, bruised up, and they're like, what the fuck? And then these two guys burst in who are clearly robbing the place. Once Luke catches wind of this, he goes and hides behind one of the shelves, and then Rob is sort of there left to fend for himself. Luke has a bottle of vodka, a really fat, thick bottle of vodka.
Fat and thick.
But again, now he's sort of hiding and cowering behind the shelf.
The scene really shows the contrast between like thought forms for this, right? Because like one person's like, "Hey, we need to do something," and Luke, as soon as he saw the people, he was like,
I'm leaving.
and I'm gone."
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the way Luke acts this scene out, I kind of think that he is going to do something. It almost, because he's like gripping the bottle and it shows the bottle, like, shit, he's going to go out there and fucking attack these guys. But he doesn't.
But he doesn't.
So in that situation, your friend is encountering these two robbers that are now asking him to give them his wallet, give them his watch, and now they're asking him to give them his wedding ring.
I was gonna say it. Now they're asking him to give his V card.
Oh my god.
So these two guys have weapons. You have a bottle of vodka. Do you get up and try and save your friend? He hasn't been attacked yet. He's just being threatened. But there's just one glimpse that his friend Rob looks back at him when they're asking him for his ring. And I think Luke shakes his head. Is like, no, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they strike him. But before that strike, do you guys get up and jump in and defend your friend?
So there's a bunch of other bottles around the whole place.
It's true.
Not just the one that he's holding in his hand. So there's a thing that I would have done, whereas either I would have obviously attacked using that bottle, or I would have distracted. Also, you could have just started throwing all the bottles around, just whipping them at people. But you also distract somebody, and then they would hear the noise, and then you just whack him in the head with the bottle afterwards.
Sorry, the big problem a lot of people had, I was looking through a bunch of reviews, was this weird dynamic between all these characters. Like, I understand some people would get pretty scared, like fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, personally, like what I would do, I don't see a gun. I've got my adrenaline's pumping. I would probably try and do something for sure.
Yeah.
If the person had a gun, that'd be a different story.
They did not have a gun, did they?
No, they didn't. They just had a fucking machete for some reason.
Yeah.
And then also, if I'm in Rob's situation and these two guys are, about to attack me, and all that's separating me from being attacked is my wedding ring,
Give the wedding ring
give the
away.
wedding
You can
ring.
buy another one.
Yeah.
It's so weird how much in movies and honestly in real life, how much these certain like physical objects have such weird importance to people, have such a hold on them, right?
that they literally die over.
Yeah, because like if they came up and they're like, I want your wedding ring, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Okay.
I just, so
But you-
ring.
But don't you dare touch my Scooby-Doo mug.
Well, I would do what he does, because he denies a couple of times, and then they really ramp up their aggression. They're like, okay, fine, fuck this, take the ring, get the fuck out of my face. So he doesn't, and he gets slashed, and it doesn't really say that he dies, but obviously it's implied that he dies.
You would, well, it's obvious that
He
he dies.
does.
They take his stuff to Sweden.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in the moment where he gets slashed,
Also,
he's on the ground.
they slashed him in the head too.
Yeah,
and he's fucked up.
The gore is
Also,
pretty good.
You would deny their request a couple times first. He's got like a fucking 1 foot long machete,
I know.
and you're like, no, I don't think I will give it to you.
No, I'd be like, come on, guys, this is my wedding ring.
Oh, guys, jeez, come on.
Jeez, man.
That's exactly what he does, essentially. Anyways, he's dead.
I'm
and
just a weird old boy.
it now transitions to these hills in Sweden. So we're now with Luke, Hutch, Phil, and Dom.
I would like to say that this movie is based off a book of the same name by the author Adam Neville. He actually has a new movie out from another book that did really well. If you want to look that up and let everybody know what it is, I can't remember what it's called right now.
So the other movies that he's made, there's not many.
No, it should only be like 2.
Banquet for the Damned, Apartment 16, Last Days, House of Small Shadows, No One Gets Out Alive, and Lost Girl.
It's No One Gets Out Alive, I believe.
That sounds familiar.
It's like new. It's on Netflix right now too, if you want to check it out.
You're right. It is that one.
I've only read one of his books. He's not my favorite writer, and a lot of people, this movie and this book are huge for like polarizing. Either you loved it or you thought it was the worst dumpster fire you've ever seen or read. But anyways, this first scene, even this character, Rob, who passes away, he's not in the book whatsoever.
It's like
But other than that, most of the beginning of the book and the movie, as far as I know, are pretty much the same. It's the second half where everything starts to change, that the book and the movie split pretty hard. And we'll get to that when we get there.
And so again, I kind of lost this in translation, but they're up on the mountains hiking in honor of Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're like setting up like a little.
Well, they actually talk about like
altar for him.
going out and hiking before he dies.
Right in the
Well,
store.
not so much hiking though, was it?
Traveling.
Yeah,
or
it was
something.
just traveling
Yeah.
to Ibiza
Yeah.
or
To what?
Ibiza. That's what it's called.
No,
isn't it?
they do mention hiking though, but they don't say where. They
Hmm.
I think it might be Rob that
It just
actually-
says
Well, they
a-
mention a bunch of places.
Yeah,
though, right?
they do.
Just-
They
just
do.
says the Scandinavian wilderness. So immediately, this is my favorite thing is right when they're hiking and then they need to get back as soon as possible because the character Dom hurts himself.
Yeah.
And they want to get back as fast as possible.
This is really, really interesting. So, actor Amir, maybe you can look this up just to see who he played. But actor Sam Troughton.
Sam Troughton played Dom, the guy who gets hurt.
Okay, and I can't say this name.
Arsher?
Right? Rafe Spall.
Ray Spall played Luke, the main dude.
Yeah. So those two guys were part of the Alien franchise.
Huh.
But they,
Spall was in Prometheus, and Troughton was in Alien vs. Predator.
That's right.
oh.
Another really interesting thing I found, Rafi, I'm so sorry if I'm just absolutely butchering this name. He was also in all 3 of Simon Pegg's major movies. He was in Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End.
movies. He must have not played like a huge part in those movies.
No, I don't believe so. But it's really, really interesting to see like the connections to
During
all this
other-
other stuff.
So Dom is hurt. He like I don't know what he does. He like twists his
He
knee or
trips and
something.
twists his leg.
Yeah, he like
basically.
puts his foot in like a divot in the ground or something.
Yeah.
And, just
And
twists it.
everybody,
But he says it's a sprain,
Mhm.
like on his ankle, but it's not. It's on his knee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we see later his knees
Yeah.
all swollen and shit.
and everyone else is like just complaining about it, thinking he's just faking this or making it worse than it actually is.
Which is awesome that
Yeah.
they're just like, this fucking guy, what
Yeah.
a fucking liar.
But because of this, they need to get back quicker, and then they immediately go off trail.
It was Hutch's idea.
Yeah.
Hutch said, I don't remember why he decided that, but apparently it would be
It's quicker.
16 hours to go the trail
Mhm.
and like 8 or something to go.
This
through
was
the
another
forest.
problem a lot of people had, that they were like, so they decided to go exploring in the wilderness of an area they've never been, and they've got a single map, a single compass, and some like shitty tents.
And they don't even have like a GPS phone or a satellite
Yeah.
phone.
I mean, I know people might have had a problem with that, but to be fair, this happens all the
All
fucking
the
time.
Well, I was gonna
Time.
say, but it makes sense.
Oh,
Makes
yeah.
sense.
And of course, they do like the worst thing you can, where they're like, let's go off trail.
Yeah.
Through a fucking forest.
Forest that we've never been in. No, it happens all the time. This is why so many people go missing
And die.
and die. So yeah, they go off the trail, and then they're walking through the forest, and it starts to get dark, and they still don't have any shelter. They still haven't made it to where they need to go. They see a bloody deer or moose. What was
One
it?
or the other. I don't think they actually identify what kind of animal
It was just
is.
a giant animal that's hung up in the tree.
It was a bear, wasn't it?
No, I think they are suggesting that it could have been bait for a bear.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a deer. Or
Either it's a bear or there is a bear in it, because I swear I vividly remember, and I just watched this movie today.
Maybe your memory is fooling you.
Maybe.
Anyways, it's a minor detail. It's some sort of animal that's hanging in the
No,
trees.
let's figure this out.
Its gut splayed out, leaking blood, and either Luke or Hutch realizes that it's a fresh kill because it's still leaking.
Yeah, it's still
blood a
bleeding
lot.
everywhere.
They also realize it's a fucking bear.
Oh my god. They also start to. I think Luke. He starts seeing the runes.
Wait, it's a gutted elk, you motherfucker!
Shit.
Yeah,
You guys were wrong too.
We're righter than you were.
Team Jacob.
Team Justin.
Sorry,
Anyway, they start to see runes on the trees,
yeah,
like
carved in.
weird carvings, kind of like almost Blair Witchy.
Mm-hmm.
They're all actual Nordic runes,
Mhm.
like actual runes. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's basically what the movie is. There's tons of
yeah,
like Nordic
it's
stuff. In
yeah,
it,
it's based on Nordic mythology.
Hell yeah, boy.
So they end up finding. Okay, they end up finding a shelter in that creepy cabin.
So creepy.
So creepy. They have to break into it.
Which that's never a
No,
good thing.
no. Usually, if you have to break into something to survive, there's gonna be
But
something. weird.
honestly, when I was watching that scene, I couldn't help but feel like, damn, that would be kind of exciting in some way. As fucking terrifying as it would be, I
Mhm.
kind of want to do it. When I'm playing video games that are like survival based and you can go into like abandoned structures, I always do because it just seems.
But that's a video game.
I know.
This is
I
real
know.
life.
This is real life.
As a kid, 100% would have. As an adult, I would want to go in there, obviously, because like it's piss and rain and stuff.
I would have been turning back right when I saw that animal gutted. I would have been.
That's true.
Right back.
Yeah. Everyone
Like that doesn't happen from other animals. We need to leave.
at this point in the movie, everyone's kind of creeped out, but Hutch is sort of still moving the team forward. Like, no, it's fine, guys. Just gonna sleep here.
He's
It's all
definitely
fucking good."
playing the guy like the
the
wilderness,
D-bag.
the d-bag wilderness man.
Well, he's playing like the trope where he's like, no, nothing's wrong. We just need to keep pushing forward. I don't see anything.
We just need to eat our granola bars and have a happy time.
They want to build a fire at this point, but he tells I think he tells Phil to go upstairs to check out if there's anything to burn,
Yes.
and then Phil discovers
big
something
old screen.
weird.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it creeps me out because he just opens that door and there's that like statue.
It's like a straw. It's made out of straw, I think, like a
Yeah.
body without a head, but it has its arms up with like antlers and its hands. It's fucking terrifying. It's also got weird, like branchy feet
Mhm.
at the bottom.
That-
Which will come into play later
Mhm.
as well.
Oh yes, foreshadowing. during the night, like they go upstairs and then they figure out it's just like this weird.
Yeah, and then
thing,
they
and then-
immediately get the fuck out of that area.
One thing I will say though that I like is this scene isn't really played out like a lot of horror movies because they identify it and everyone is fucking creeped out by it. I think including Hutch, and they even mention this is witchcraft. Phil, the brown guy,
Yeah.
this is witchcraft, which I think something in a lot of horror movies they don't do. Like they don't identify that. Like there's
No.
this is fucking weird. It's whatever. But they actually say this is witchcraft, which I thought was nice.
Well, I like that they're like, this is witchcraft. Let's not go in here anymore.
Yeah.
And they do that a few parts in the movie, which we'll cover as
Yeah,
well.
they do
some quote unquote smart things in the movie.
some smart things. The major thing of them going off trail, worst idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, they start to, or they leave that room and they go back downstairs, and then it's the nighttime. They sleep, and then they all start having fucked up dreams. Yeah. Luke has a dream of going back to the convenience store where the the murder happened.
And I will say about the Luke dream sequence, I thought it was very well executed. Like I
They're
felt
very
like,
cool.
Yeah, it felt like a dream for sure. Like the weird sound effects, like the heightened noises in the background and stuff.
I really like that you said accident. Like he was like, oh, my machete slipped.
You never know. Anyway,
But that's the only person we see having a dream, though, right?
yeah, he's having the dream. The thing I really like about that scene is that he's kind of walking in the forest, and then he sees a convenience store in the forest.
And
Yeah.
the convenience store has like grass
Yeah.
on the floor. It's
Which
very-
is kind of like what a dream would do.
Yeah,
Just
totally.
throwing weird shit into other weird shit.
Yeah.
We should probably mention like I was saying, either people really liked the movie or really hated it. Like I believe all three of us liked the movie quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he has that dream. He wakes up. No, sorry. He's still having that dream, but he leaves the convenience store and then is gored by an animal.
But we don't see the animal, I don't think.
No,
right?
we just
Yeah.
see the antlers go into his chest, and
Yeah.
he's bleeding.
And a weird formation on his chest, too.
Yeah.
He wakes up, and then he sees that all the other friends of his are
Are freaking out.
Yeah, I think Hutch pisses himself.
Yep. And
The dude with the fucked up knee is like in the corner freaking out.
Yeah.
And then the one guy upstairs.
Phil is,
Yeah.
he's praying naked to this straw statue.
Yeah. which is a
Okay.
creepy scene.
So it's the part of the podcast where we talk about what we're gonna do.
So I think we should put ourselves in Luke's position because he's the main dude.
That's seeing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So Andy, you're Luke. You had a bad dream.
So you had a bad
Oh
dream.
my god! Great timing, guys. Wow.
So you had a bad dream. You go back into the house, and you notice you're still bleeding, and then everybody else is freaking out. What do you do?
I don't know, because it seems like when he's talking to Hutch is just being like, yeah, I pissed myself, whatever. Like he doesn't seem like he seems unfazed by it almost. Like
Which
this,
can make sense because he could have just been like, "Wow, that was a really scary dream to the point I pissed myself." It's
Yeah.
not that big of a deal.
But the other guy is also freaking out, and he's not saying what he even dreamt about. He's just freaking out, and the other guy's naked praying to this thing. I would just be like, we got to get out of here. This is too weird for all of us to have this fucked up of a dream. We need to leave. We need to backtrack. We need to get out of here.
Yeah, stay. Get the fuck out of there. Go back the way you came. Get off this mountain and go fucking home.
Like whatever energy is doing this to you it's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Which is the guy that's praying again?
Phil. Yeah.
I'd be like, "Look, Phil, get your dick out of your hand. Put your damn clothes on. We gotta get the fuck out of here."
Stop doing a ritual. Stop doing them naked rituals. So after that, wait, what did you say that you would do?
I would just be like, "Put your dick away. Let's get the fuck
But he
out of
didn't
here."
have his. Okay,
You don't know.
He
that.
might
You didn't
have.
see
It's
it.
true.
He might have.
His
His
in
dick
hand.
was out.
it was out, but he wasn't doing anything with it.
Not at the point we saw, but throughout the
Okay.
night, he might have been deep in jerk.
Sorry, I forgot to add this. I should have added it at the beginning. So, in the beginning of the movie, after their friend dies, when they're getting out of their tents, that's actually the order they die.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, didn't see that. So at this point of the movie, everyone is starting to distrust each other, especially Dom, like just getting so upset with Luke because basically he's blaming it all on him because of the murder and him not doing anything. So there's tension is starting to build up.
Which is a really heavy topic. 'Cause, like, how would you feel, right? Would you
True.
feel like you did it? Would you feel like everybody
I
thinks
would
it's your fault?
feel like shit every day.
Yeah.
If
would
you
live
were
with that
the
for
other
rest of your
person,
life.
would you feel like it's their fault kind of thing?
I don't think so. I definitely think, especially Dom was way too hard on.
Oh, totally.
But he obviously must have been really close to Rob.
I think he also blames it on on him drinking too much.
Oh, interesting.
Personally, like
Just get your dick out of your hand.
if it was Amir, like I will probably be like, it's kind of your fault,
Oh my
buddy. Like, if Andy got murked,
Why was it me that got murked?
well,
I would do everything I could to save Andy's life. All right.
I also like we were saying murked. I like that.
I just like to think that Amir would be like, you want my wedding? No, you can't.
I'm not even married. You can't have my wedding ring.
No.
I think
I see the machete, yes, but no.
One thing to point out right now about when they venture back into the forest, I think, is the fact that the forest just looks like there's no path at all. It's just trees after trees, just rows of trees with no clear way to go.
And there's ruins everywhere now.
I
Yeah,
also have to
right.
say, Luke has also started to hear like weird noises coming from the forest.
Mm-hmm.
All throughout the movie too, apparently you can see whatever's following them, whatever did that to the elk. You can see its eyes throughout the movie.
I don't think
Personally, I
noticed
didn't
that.
really see it.
Me
but-
I only
neither.
saw it in certain parts, but where it gave you kind of clues because of the music changing.
Right.
So after Dom and Luke are fighting, Luke runs up to try and see, like he runs up the hill to see if there's like this clearing because they see light, but there's no clearing. There's just more trees, and then he sees that human hand on the tree, and it's
right.
kind of wrapped around, and then he's like kind of freaking out, and then you see the creature kind of moving in the background.
Fucking hated that scene. So the first time I watched it, I'm pretty sure I saw the hand. The second time,
Did not see the creature.
didn't see it at all.
No.
I saw the creature because you can see its antler sticking out.
okay.
That's what I was looking at. I was like, oh shit, that antler is really high up. And then all of a sudden you see the hand move, and I was like, oh fuck.
That deer got hands.
And he rushes back to the friends. Like, we got to get out of here, guys.
Yeah, that's what happens. He does.
That's what you would do.
Yeah, that's what you would do. I think Luke does say that there's some sort of creature up here. We have to get going. And then Dom is like, "Oh, you're just making up stuff again.
Which is like,
You're just gaslighting this guy."
yeah, but also like, there's something up there. We gotta get the hell out of here. Why would you be like, you're just
Ah,
bullshitting it? I'd be like,
just yanking my chain.
Is that when the altercation between Luke and Dom happens?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Actually, that was before, or the altercation.
Yeah,
happened
and then he's
before.
like, I'm gonna go up to this
Oh,
ridge
right.
and
Yeah.
So
take
yeah,
a
what
look.
happens? Yeah, Dom brings up the shit with Rob, and Luke ends up punching Dom in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the night falls again. I guess they finally camp somewhere because they're still stuck in the woods.
Well, they're walking, then they see another cabin, and they're like,
Nope.
nope.
Nope, not going near that thing. They go they do eventually camp somewhere. And then doesn't Luke have another dream? And then like during this dream, he sees like the murderer like with the machete. His eyes glow.
Yeah, so he is in his tent because they're all asleep,
Mhm.
and then he wakes up for some reason, but it's a dream.
Yeah.
I guess he opens his tent, looks out, and he sees the lights from the convenience store, and then he sees the dude with the machete over top of Rob in the convenience
But he's
store.
like all like looking possessed.
Yeah, because
looking
then he looks
creepy.
up at him, his eyes glow, and then shit starts to happen.
So I want to go back to the first scene with the convenience store, because I don't know if you guys remember, but there's this minor detail where the lights start to flicker.
Mm-hmm.
The vibe I got from the scene in the store was almost like the movie was trying to foreshadow, and the weird shit starts happening in the store with the robbers as soon as they mention going out into the wilderness or hiking or whatever.
Right.
So I always thought maybe whatever was going to befall them in the forest was making its presence known in the store. I don't know if you guys got that vibe from that scene.
Yes, I
It felt
think,
like an omen.
Yeah,
almost.
it basically it's like slowly like messing with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's slowly being like, because it's the creature that's doing all these memory things. It's replaying a traumatic event in him,
Yeah.
and it just keeps repeating over and over again, and it's doing that to the other guys, but in different ways. So he has this dream. The killer has the machete over Rob's face, and then I think it looks right at him, and it calls him a coward. and then he hears the creature. He actually wakes up this time, like for real wakes up.
For realsies.
For realsies. He wakes up and then like hears like just like stomping around his tent, gets out of his tent, and then I think he notices that Hutch's tent has been destroyed.
And there's some blood in it too.
Yeah, and Hutch is gone.
Yeah.
So he wakes the other guys up.
Going looking for Hutch.
Exactly.
And then we just start hearing screaming, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Hutch is in trouble.
Yeah, and then they all set off to find him, and then we find Hutch in the same state as the elk.
That looks like a bear.
Bear
It's-
elk.
It's gruesome. I actually really like what they've done with the effects on Hutch, because it's.
Yeah,
I was fucking
he was messed up.
moved by it.
And then they give him a. Well, I think Dom was like, "We got to give him a burial."
And
We
they just
can't-
put some fucking branches
yeah,
on
just,
him.
just dump a few twigs. He's good enough. Also, they didn't want to even do that. They just wanted to get the hell out of there, which they should have done.
Yeah, totally fine.
Oh, we forgot to say he actually was impaled on the tree first, and then they brought him down.
Could you imagine bringing him down? Because it wouldn't have been that long after he passed. So
No,
you
it
pull
must
him
have-
down,
yeah.
and then just blood and
Yeah.
gore is just dripping on you.
Yeah.
I'd be
Oh.
like, you know what? We should have went to Disney World.
Which they should have,
They really should have.
because like not too long after that, Phil is dragged away by an unseen creature at nighttime again.
Yeah, this was Luke goes up to another area and then notices the mountain at the far end, and he's like, holy shit, we're actually gonna
Yeah.
make it. That's when he sees the fire, the lights
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
forest, and then he comes back down and he sees him like walking around looking at stuff, and he's like, what's
What
going
are you
on?
doing?
Yeah, and then he gets pulled away or whatever, right?
That part really creeped me out.
There was one part as well where Phil talks about the fact that whatever happened to him in the cabin was inside of him, which I found kind of creepy.
I think he already knew he was being stalked. So the creature gives chase, and then they find the torch-lined path leading to the small settlement. Which
I mean, you can call it that, I guess.
settlement?
I mean, just
A creepy village.
A village, sure.
A village.
how many buildings were even there?
There was
I don't
quite
think I only-
there was a few.
Was there? I think I only saw like one or two.
I thought I only saw the one too.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, they rush into there because they're being chased by this creature.
And they're on the ground now. And I remember at this point the the angles
Yeah.
are all weird, distorted.
So they get finally into this one of the buildings, and then they like look up, and like there's people in there, and they get hit, and
Yeah.
knocked out. They wake up and they find themselves restrained in a cellar, and an elderly woman enters and inspects Luke's chest wounds, revealing that she bears a similar marking on her chest.
Did you guys notice it almost looked like a swastika?
Yes,
I didn't notice that.
I did that.
no.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which,
But then again, a swastika.
no, it doesn't mean
No, they're
what
not
the
Nazis.
fucking
Yeah.
Nazis meant.
But
It
the
was-
Nazis stole that symbol anyway.
Yeah,
so
it was from before the Nazis,
Yeah.
for sure.
But yes, I did see that it kind of looked like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like the SS or anything.
I like to delve into that a little bit more. The woman that comes through, the old woman, she's technically like a witch,
Oh,
and so it doesn't show it, but you can hear it in the movie. The way she's stepping, you can hear it's really distinct. Like you can really hear it if you listen. In the book, the witch has hooves on the bottom, so I think that's part of why they didn't show the bottom of her, and you can kind of hear it sound like it.
Oh, so when going back just a tiny bit, when they end up in the cabin on their backs and somebody kicks Luke and goes to black, the leg that it actually shows is like
a hoof.
yeah,
Oh,
it's like not a hoof, but it's like straw. It looks like straw.
It's very wrapped up.
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
But the
interesting.
first instinct I had about that old woman was, this bitch is a witch.
I don't know why. The second time I watched it, when she like goes up and gives him water and stuff, I very strongly remembered her like spitting in it or something and making him drink it for some
Whoa.
reason. But that might be from a different movie.
no, that did not happen in this movie.
So yeah, she gives Luke some water, but she doesn't give
Dom
Dom any water.
No, because Luke's been marked
yeah,
to be part of their little shindig.
and Luke's
Yeah.
like, no, give him some water too.
Yeah, he's.
I did all I can, man. I don't know.
God. Yeah, he's supposed to be like part of the. He has to submit to this creature or be killed.
We all know what that means.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know nothing. What are you doing over there? This is a family podcast.
I'm sure it is.
It says here that Luke has to be sacrificed to this creature, but he's trying to figure out a way to escape.
Luke is the main guy, isn't he?
Yes.
He's not being sacrificed. No.
Sorry, not Luke.
Dom.
Dom.
Yeah, Dom gets carried away.
Yeah, and he's going to be sacrificed first. I think he just gets beaten or tortured
Yeah, he gets
first.
beaten real good.
And then
Yeah.
they put him up against that wooden crucifix, essentially.
Well, before that, there's the really sad scene of him being like, "Just please tell my wife.
oh yeah,
Like tell her I tried,
I tried to get back
right?"
to her. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, that.
Spoiler: he doesn't.
but
Oh my god.
also on that same scene, I fucking love Luke's performance here because Luke's harsh, like, no, that's not. I don't have to do that. Nope. And then he starts banging his head against the cabin, in defiance of Dom dying, which I found very powerful, actually.
So yeah, before Dom actually does die, the creature does emerge from the forest,
Looking like
his
yeah.
wife, holding his hand or his.
She was looking real good.
Oh my god, looking like holding his face, and then
It morphs.
it morphs into the creature.
It just like hard cuts to
Yeah.
the creature.
I always found that weird. Why did it look like his wife? Like, why didn't even know why it looked how his wife looked?
It's messing with him, being like, this is a familiar face, so you
Right.
don't have to feel afraid when you're sacrificed to this thing. And then it picks him up and throws him against a tree, and then he dies.
It impales him. On
It
the
doesn't
tree.
throw him though.
No,
It picks him up and
like,
slowly
slowly.
pushes him on.
Here you go.
What do you guys think of the design of the creature? I
Love
mean,
it.
it kind of looks like a deer with
Oh,
like
wow.
a face in it.
I love
Get
it.
into that, sure.
Okay.
That's an actual mythical creature.
Yes.
It's like it's actually like that's how it's called a Jotun, I believe.
It's
if you want to look
it's
that
a
up.
what is it?
Nordic.
Nordic.
Norwegian.
Nordic. We should probably say what they actually call it in the movie. It's like one of the bastard sons of Loki.
Yeah, which is literally what it is.
Saying
They're-
it's a god and
it's
everything.
technically like it's supposed to be a giant.
Right. It does have different characterizations and depictions over different.
But when I looked it up, it looked like one of the pictures was almost exactly like what they show.
It almost kind of looks like a Wendigo.
Wendigo?
What did I say?
Wendigo.
Wendigo.
Sure looks like that goddamn Wendigo over there.
But yeah, somebody drew this one on DeviantArt, and it looks basically identical to
Did
that.
you just say deviant?
I did.
It's
Deviant.
We don't know how to say anything.
Deviant.
English is our first language, if you can't tell.
Fucker, do you speak it?
Not very well. But yeah, so it's a Jotun, the bastard child of Loki.
What did you call me?
You heard me.
So yeah, Dom's dead now.
Dom is dead. Luke is trying to escape. He breaks his own thumb because he's handcuffed to escape.
Which, like, it was a pretty brief scene, but it was powerful
Yeah.
to me, for sure.
Is that what you guys do in that situation? You see your
No,
friend?
I'd just be like, I'd be like, okay, where do I sign up? Because, like, there's no fucking way I'm breaking my own goddamn thumb.
And also, we should mention there's this woman that comes into the room who does speak English. Nobody else seems to speak English, but there's this one younger woman who comes in and talks to Dom.
Yeah, it's
or
called a
talks
plot point.
talks to
Whoa.
Luke about what they're doing, and she mentions the sacrifice and stuff. But yeah, to what Ryan was saying, I think I do say, like, let me just be one of you guys. Let me worship
This is
thing.
my take, is that I would worship it, and then in the daytime when I'm free, just get the fuck out of there.
Right. Yeah.
But it's always following you.
Yeah, but
Like, easily following you,
but you can,
I would
at least
ask
you have
them,
you have a better chance of escaping in the daytime.
how do I get back
true.
to civilization so I can bring back more people here to
and
worship?
bomb the fuck out of this village.
I mean, that's what you'd want to do.
Yeah, and I'm sure all those people will be like, well, you just take a ride over here. You'll see a Wendy's.
Also worth pointing out, if you haven't seen the movie, is everyone looks weird. Like, they're all deformed, like weird bodies. Like, one of the guys is bald and has like a tiny head. Somebody else has like a really long head. I just found everyone looking really weird.
I think that's just
I think they just look.
you.
Maybe they just look like.
To be fair, though, that one dude with the bald head was pretty freaky looking.
Yeah, he's
but like
pretty rough.
that, the blonde woman that speaks English looked like
she
a
looked
normal
fine,
person
and the witch, the original witch, looked pretty normal for the most part.
besides the hooves
that we didn't get to
that
see.
we didn't see.
So Luke escapes.
So Luke is trying to escape. He I think he grabs like a what is it? Like a what do you call it, lighter or something.
He grabs a musket.
He does grab a musket at,
Right?
at a later part.
later?
Yeah, he grabs.
It's like a torch.
He grabs
torch.
a torch,
He
yeah,
grabs a
because he goes upstairs,
and
doesn't he?
sees the mummified worshippers that are
Right,
still
yeah.
alive. Which
That was
I
terrifying
totally
the first
forgot.
time.
Yeah.
Totally forgot this happened because I guess I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, they start to scream when he lights them on fire,
Yeah,
which
that was
draws
fucking
the creature
creepy.
back.
So creepy.
Which, in that situation, I wouldn't have waited like he did. As soon as I opened the door, as soon as I got the torch, I'd have been like, now everything's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd like to say, though, the next realistic part, like we were talking about before, is so fucking funny.
It's
when he's
so
coming down
funny,
the
and
stairs
yeah.
and the witch is there, and it's a brief pause, and then he punches
Yeah.
her in the face.
Yeah. So random.
laughed so hard at that. I was like, that was exactly what you would have to do in that situation.
Yeah, what else would you
Would
do?
you-
Like, you would just...
Yeah. Headbutter? I don't know. So yeah, he does that. He punches the witch in the face, then grabs a rifle.
Yes.
Not a musket, a rifle.
No, yeah, it's a rifle.
Because he has a few shots in it. And he heads downstairs, and then he kills one of the followers, the bald man.
Which
Yeah.
was interesting because he shoots, nothing happens, and then all of a sudden you hear a bang and the guy's body just
Oh,
falls
yeah.
back.
And it seems like the bald guy's trying to like reason with him about something, but obviously you can't hear what he's saying because he's speaking a different language. I wonder what he was.
I mean, you can
actually
hear
saying.
what he's saying, you just can't understand,
what he's saying, yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Fucking throw this guy through the fucking table, Andy. Get him away from me.
What?
We're all having fun on a podcast.
Anyway. So this upsets the creature. He kills. Oh, the what is it called? Jotun?
Yeah.
It grabs.
It's probably Jotun, not Jotun, honestly.
Oh,
Yeah.
it grabs one of the followers, the young woman, and it's like strangling her or it's
Oh,
doing
yeah.
something. And then Luke,
He's just like, you stupid bitch.
When you see her again, though, it's fuck. Like her eyes are all like
Oh,
bloodied
yeah.
and
Well,
shit.
you know why, though, too, because, like, the creature picks up Luke at some point and he tries to put his fingers into his
Right.
eyes, right?
so yeah, Luke sees this and does a stupid thing where he just like has like one bullet left and goes to shoot it.
Yeah, I don't understand why he did that. That part was not good.
No, I was like, that's not gonna do anything. And
Just
he does,
angers it.
yeah, it just makes him really mad, and then it starts to chase him, and it's chasing him, and it's crippling his mind with hallucinations of Rob's death before it catches up to him and forces him on his knees. Don't go there.
Yeah, okay.
Or go there, I don't care. It keeps forcing him down on the ground. Shut up. You haven't even said anything, but I can hear you.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta force him.
Wow. Okay, I'm cutting that part out.
The police are on their way. So that
Sorry.
keeps
Yeah, yeah.
happening, and then he keeps refusing, and then finally, I think, doesn't he like cut it in the face?
Can we before you get onto that, because like during that scene is when the creature goes up on its hind legs
Oh,
and
yeah.
completely raises up. That was a really
Very
powerful
creepy.
image.
It wants
Totally.
to, yeah. It basically is trying to make itself look giant and like look like this god type thing. That,
Almost like a bear.
So yeah, he's actually, I think he's flat on his tummy at some point, and so when he took the gun, he also took an axe,
yeah.
and so now the axe was dislodged from him during this chase, and it's very close to him, and yeah, he reaches for the axe and he has it in his hand, and then yeah, I think when the creature
Comes in for him.
yeah, he axes it like in the head,
Which-
essentially.
You get a really good look at like the creature's face. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy because it's like an upside down torso. The arms are there, but then it's almost got like this.
You don't really see its actual face,
No,
though.
but
it's
it-
like in the darkness.
Yeah.
Like it kind of looks like a very wide open vagina, which I wonder if that's part of the imagery that
Michelle,
comes with it.
Michelle, my girlfriend, she kept saying that it looked like a turkey, like right when it was like when it's still like right when you cook it,
Oh,
and it's like kind of upside down.
happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Okay. So yeah, that's what it looked like. But yes, it does look like that too, Ryan.
No, because it could be like another bit of
Symbolism, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
Plus, just only being able to see like the glowing eyes in it is like, fuck me. I want to stick it in.
Oh, okay.
And he does. He sticks the axe right into that vagina.
Yeah, right into the vagina face. So that happens. That angers it still, and then Luke is able to escape out of the forest.
He's like on the edge of a cliff now, kind of, right? Like on the edge of a mountain.
No,
he gets out. He finally gets to that other side of the hill,
yeah.
the mountain, and then he sees a road and somebody's driving up.
Yeah.
that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it does. He looks out.
No,
and
there's literally just a field. He runs out and he escapes it, and that's it.
no, it shows a vehicle driving by, but like very far away from him.
Oh, okay.
It 100% shows it.
A bear is driving.
He's got his friend Elk in the passenger seat.
So we're really close to the end now.
That is the end.
But they yell at each other for a while.
Yeah, because
Which-
the creature, the god, can't leave the forest.
Yeah.
He's like,
You didn't like this ending. Why?
I feel so when he axes the beast, the Jotun, it almost feels like it kind of does cower a little bit. It kind of retreats, and I feel like this mythical fucking monster god thing wouldn't have allowed Luke to escape. I feel like a more solid ending would have been just Luke dying. Honestly,
that's true on it. That is true, but it's not a god. They're just worshiping
Sure.
it as a god, right?
Yeah.
And it is a physical being. It can
Yeah.
be heard.
I like the ending because it kind of signifies that he wasn't able to do any of these things when he actually needed to do for his friend, but his friend, like, he kept seeing visions of his friend at the end being like don't do this, but he actually finally had the courage to attack this thing and then get the hell out. And I feel like there's
Good thing he was able to do it after everybody was dead.
yeah.
I was after the movie had finished. It was in the morning time, and the weather outside was very similar to the weather in the movie. Very kind of cloudy and rainy, and I felt weird, man. I felt off. The movie definitely left a weird imprint on me. It was all the witchy stuff. I'm very I don't know if I want to say scared of witchcraft, but I believe in witchcraft. I think witchcraft is a real thing.
I think witchcraft is real, but I don't feel like it's a bad thing.
I think there's good and bad. I feel like there are definitely lots of good witches out there, but I definitely think there are people out there that practice black magic from the standpoint of witchcraft and do put bad, evil curses on people.
So that was the movie. You guys want to hear some fun facts?
Yeah, do it.
Sure.
Okay, I've got a couple here.
Okay.
So in the final act of the movie, when you can hear the cultist chanting when he's going upstairs to that mummy room,
The mummy.
they're chanting the word, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, but it's bloat or blot, something like that.
Okay.
And it refers to, I'm going to say this wrong too,
Is there anything you say right? Did
probably not. It refers to the
you say cock?
It refers to the Astrar ritual practice of offering food, beverages, and on occasions human sacrifices to the gods who they sought favor for.
Oh.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, it makes
for the
sense,
movie,
yeah.
right?
I wonder if there are still people out there that do these types of rituals in these, remote parts of Europe. And
Honestly,
I'm glad they just didn't say
Yes.
Booyakasha.
the fuck? Anywho, yeah, to mention more on Amir's point there, I think it even happens here still. Like, I think a lot of ritual stuff still happens. Obviously not to such a intense degree, but I think a lot of it still happens.
Oh, yeah.
I was telling Andy earlier about when I was in South America. I lived in a commune for about a month with...
Yeah, quote unquote commune. It was a cult.
Sex cult.
It wasn't, but...
Sex culture.
But like the sex was pretty good.
There were two women from...
Whoa!
There were two women from the UK that were running the place, and it was essentially a place for volunteers from around the world to come. It was like
Get their dick wet.
but they actually did do rituals every month. They were pagan.
But they were good rituals.
Yeah, they would basically be singing songs to the moon, kind of shit.
I think a lot of rituals. It just also depends on certain religions have that, like that. There's singing and dancing.
Oh yeah, growing up, I was part of. Fuck, I need to tell this story now. So, there are parts. I grew up a Muslim. I'm not anymore. I was forced into it. But there are parts of Islam where certain people do rituals that are to varying extremes. And there was one type of ritual called a ratib, which from earlier times before this one that I'm going to be talking about was essentially people gathering in a room and singing songs of prayer. But this one time, I went to what's called a cutting ratib. And it started off the same way, just chanting and singing songs of prayer. And then someone propped a sheet with things inside it into the middle of the room. Everyone is around the room in a circle. And they opened up the sheet, and there were fucking blades and skewers in it. And then so a few people took some of these blades, and they kept sort of chanting, and they kind of started dancing around in a circle within the circle with these blades, and they started fucking slashing themselves with them. They weren't like they were pricking themselves barely, but they were. And then eventually they formed a lineup for people to come in and skewer their ears if they wanted to. It was the most fucked up thing I've ever been a part of.
That sounds not good.
No, but
and there's a ton of that all over the place.
Exactly.
Isn't there like with certain Catholics when they feel like they've done something terrible, they have that
they do
that
a
whip?
penance, yeah.
Oh.
An interesting character to look up, Albert Fish. He was a murderer.
Serial murderer.
Yeah,
sounds
real
very
bad.
Serial
familiar.
killer of
But
children.
he was kind of like a religious murderer as well, and he did tons of stuff. He had
Things-
specific flails and
yeah.
stuff. He would put pins and needles into his perineum, stuff like that, like crazy stuff. And like, they're like this isn't exactly what's the word I'm trying to think of? It's not all that rare either. Like this thing where people think they need to pay penance with their flesh. Like it happens quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything else?
I have a couple more. Yes.
Okay.
There's a stone image a cultist is briefly seen praying to, and it's called a Kirkby Stephen stone, which is believed to be a representative of Loki. So it's all like a really like when you really get into it, it's all a really tight narrative, which is nice, right? It's not just like, hey, here's a symbol from this and a symbol from there.
Like they actually did their homework.
Yeah,
for it,
exactly.
Good.
Um,
Good. I like tight things.
Oh my god. Not you too, Andy.
I meant a tight narrative.
No, you said tight things.
I did?
Yes.
Oh.
You said I like
So,
tight things anyway.
It is based on the novel, but apparently, and we might need to double check this. This might be wrong. Some of the scenes are based off of the 70s horror movie, also called Rituals.
Is that the Canadian movie?
I have no clue.
I believe it's a Canadian movie.
I don't think that's going to be something I'm going to be able to look up right away. So,
Oh.
Well, you're just gonna have to take my word for it.
Okay. Thank you.
Rituals, it's called.
I believe so. Rituals, or if you look up the ritual, I think there's also an
1977.
yeah.
It's Canadian. It's a Canadian movie.
The movie was also shot on location in the Carpathian Mountains of Romania,
Oh.
which is pretty cool. The director,
Okay.
yeah, so the director, David Bruckner, he also directed The Night House, which is a movie we definitely want to go see.
We haven't seen that yet.
He did episodes of The Creep Show television series.
Oh, you know what else he's doing?
Give me a second.
Sorry.
I'm getting there. God, this is my time.
This is the Ryan Show.
He did a segment on Southbound or in
I was gonna
Southbound.
say South Park.
He did a segment in Southbound, which is a pretty good movie. A segment in VHS. He did The Signal, and he's directing the new Hellraiser show that's coming out.
Oh, that's awesome. Excited for that.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's, pretty good.
It's pretty good.
The composer, Ben Lovett, he also was the composer for The Night House, so it sounds like they worked together a little bit. He also did I Trapped the Devil, which I haven't seen but looks like a crazy interesting movie. My Super Psycho Sweet 16 1 through 3, and The Signal as well.
What's the signal about?
I don't know. Amir, can you look that up real quick? The Signal?
The Signal?
One movie that I kind of... This is deviating, obviously, from this movie, which we have a few times
I
here.
just really love Putty Tank.
Oh, no. We'll talk about that later. The other movie that it really has nothing to do with each other, but they came out around at the same time, was the movie Apostle. Also kind of had this like witchy, earthy vibes.
Right. It came out a little afterwards.
Yeah.
and was another really hyped up like Netflix movie for sure. Nick Alder, he was the person who ran the special effects. He also worked on The Fifth Element, Alien, Legend, The Devil Inside, Hellboy, Shanghai Nights, Blade 2, and a bunch of other movies.
Not a bad movie in that bunch.
No, not at all.
So if you guys still want to know what The Signal is about, it's weird. There's a lot of, basically it's around a domestic dispute, and then one person in the couple discovers a CD, and then the girl in the relationship starts hearing a weird static coming through the TV, radio, and telephone, and then it splits it into 3 different transmissions that come through these signals. So it actually sounds pretty interesting.
Maybe
But,
we'll have to cover that. If you guys would like us to cover it, shoot us a message. This is my last.
This is the last podcast?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
On the left.
It's been nice, man.
This is my last little fact for this.
Okay.
So, this is where the book deviates. There's no cult in the book.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just a creature?
It's just a creature, and they run into a bunch of metalhead teenagers who were waiting for them to try and sacrifice them for just a random ritual.
Huh.
I think I like the movie's interpretation better.
Yeah.
Me too.
Though it's kind of interesting in like it's such a huge flip,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That seems more like an 80s like horror comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, so the main teenagers are Loki and Fenrir, which I believe are probably all part of that Nordic mythology. They played in a band called Blood Frenzy. And they had heard stories about the beast living in the woods and came to worship it. So they wanted to sacrifice those guys there and stuff. And that's how the book goes. So it is like a very, very big deviation.
Definitely.
So that was The Ritual. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Survive the Night. I'm Amir, joined with Andy.
Hi.
And Ryan.
Yes.
The next episode of Survive the Night is going to be really special because we're going to be doing a brand new movie, and not so brand new movie, with the new Halloween coming out. What's the name of that? The new one? Does it have
Halloween Kills.
Halloween Kills. We're also going to be doing Halloween 2018 just to kind of set up Halloween Kills. But yeah, we're going to be watching it. It's going to be super fresh, and we hope you can join us for that. If you want to follow us on our social media, you can do that on Instagram at s.t.n_podcast. On Twitter, we're at STN Pod. And if you want to send us an email, you do that at survivethenightpodcast@gmail.com.
Send us a damn email already, okay?
Just have a good day.
Or night.
Oh my god.
You know what? Don't have a good day.
All right.
Have a spooky night.
Okay. We'll talk to you in the next episode.
Bye.